Hey everybody, welcome to the Express Training Bites recorded video. Now, if you saw my little live debacle earlier, you'll see that I was having some technical difficulties. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video for everybody anyway, because we do repost Express Training Bites. Not only do we do it live on Thursdays, but then we repost it in Promo Journal, and it lives there at promocorner.com under the Promo Journal tab. Go into the daily feed, and then you can select Express Training Bites, and you're able to see every episode from today's to the very first one that I did way back in June. So because we're not able to see each other face to face, and we're not able to get that human interaction now, this show, I hope, has provided to you every week a way that you can connect with your peers in the promo industry and outside of the promo industry and kind of help grow your business and make it better. So I did want to go through a little bit of the year in review, if you will. So it's actually only about 6 months because I did start this in June, but it's always neat to go back and look at what we have done and kind of see what we can learn from. So we did have quite a few topics, and I kind of grouped them all together in these topics here: emotional intelligence, motivation, branding and rebranding, virtual selling, social media and content, value shifts, wellness, getting back to selling. So getting back to that face-to-face and how we're going to do that, and keeping your team connected. And that's, we're talking virtually there. So when we talked about the category emotional intelligence, we had Catherine Mills on there, and she talked to us at length about EQ and how that kind of works. Here's a little snippet of what she said.
Emotional intelligence, which is, it's fairly new in the last 20 years, getting a big kind of movement in business, but I want to share how it can help you personally and professionally. If you're not familiar with emotional intelligence, basically it's soft skills. So we know what regular intelligence is, which is the smarts, right? The book smarts. But no matter how much information you have, if you're incapable of communicating in a way that other people can understand, or navigating through obstacles, not being able to adapt, not being able to manage your stress, it's going to affect you where you can't grow personally or professionally. That's what EQ is. EQ is designed to help us to become more balanced people, have more self-awareness, so that we can communicate and function in the world in a more effective way.
And then in our next category, motivation, we brought in Shannon Laredo, and we talked about what motivates the motivator. Here's a little clip about what she talked about.
And so I think everybody who sees people who have high energy, who are always motivating, who are always telling people to go be amazing, what happens and what do you do when you're not feeling amazing?
You know, and it's in the discipline and the consistency. It's making yourself get up and do it, because I feel like it all falls into place. But it's even down to my voicemail. I know you've called me before. In the past, back when you and I first met, my voicemail said, at the end, it said, "Have an outstanding day." I mean, you can't be, and everyone who would leave me a voicemail is like, wow, that is like the most energetic voicemail I have ever heard. And now I'm going to go have a great day. You know, just doing little things like that, you know, something to put a smile on your face and other people's faces. Because I don't know about you, but when I make someone else smile or make them happy or motivate somebody else, especially if I'm not motivated, if I see, like for instance, Heather Mangold, you know, if I see her post from Raining Rose, if y'all aren't following her, you should. Like if I see her post her workout and I haven't had my workout yet and I'm not feeling it, I'm like, well, crap, let me go get it done, you know?
And then in our next category, branding and rebranding, we've had a bunch of shifts in where people are working and what they are doing. And we had three amazing people, Tim Hill, Brandon Williams, and Brittany Godsey, talk to us about how they brand personally for business and how they've taken and made that their thing during the lockdown. Here's a little review of their training.
I wanted to make sure that my branding was on par with what their branding is, because a lot of the times I feel as though the distributors, we are targeting different audiences and markets who have better branding than our company. And I've seen it time and time again. And it's when it comes down to kind of the trust factor of it all is, you know, why would a company want to do business with us in a branding and marketing space if their branding and marketing is superior to what we are presenting to them as, you know, a consultant or as a business, you know? So that was kind of the opportunity that I've seen and why I've, you know, really placed a super huge emphasis on, you know, gathering my brand consistency across many different platforms, and really, you know, upgrading the imagery to match kind of the days, the time of days. And really, we're kind of in a modern day e-commerce space where, you know, branding is just clean, simple, vibrant, and really to just strike people and catch the eye. Like I said, there's no second chances for first impressions. So that's kind of like the strategy that I use to develop my brand.
How would everybody else who is going through this right now, because there are a ton of people inside our industry and outside of this industry, what kind of pointers can you give them to make that transition, to tell themselves it's okay to take your passion and put it into another job, into another career?
That's a good point. And, you know, none of us like change. None of us do. And that's exactly what this is for so many of us. And we all want to go back to the cliche new normal. And I don't know what that's going to be anymore. So just, you know, spend a lot of time in thought. If you've got something that you wanted to do that was maybe a side hustle right now or back then, now you've got time to make it into your main hustle and just, you know, find what you're passionate about and pursue that.
So today, talking about your personal brand, what does that mean? When we were first talking about curating this episode, it was really about, hey, you guys are probably out there as individual sales reps of your organization, and you're trying to figure out, I've got this great company image, but I want to engage socially one-on-one with maybe some of my clients or potential prospect clients so that they get to know me in a different way, or I might be able to extend my reach in some form or fashion, right? So what does that exactly look like? Because social media can be a little confusing, and it's really a lot of gray area in terms of what is good to post and what is not. So I figured this is where those questions come in first, and we're going to go ahead and answer those.
And now the king of all categories, the virtual selling. So hard to get used to looking into that little dot, that little camera, and really get out there and start doing the things. But we had 3 amazing guests come on and tell us that it's really not that bad and it's super easy and give us some awesome tips. We had Jody Schillinger, Taylor Borst, and Tiffany Tarr talk to us and give us a little bit of training on virtual selling. And here's a little bit about what they were talking about.
The other day, I was in this fabulous Zoom meeting with a small group of brilliant people, and I answered a question quite lyrically. I saw some eyes flutter with magic, shoulders melted and dropped. The feeling of relaxation set in, and yes, there were grins. I know, grins in a Zoom meeting. Grins started to slowly appear in this almost dreamy state, very similar to those amazing water shows at the Bellagio, which we are all too familiar with. Ear-to-ear grins started to happen in an in-sync sort of way. And Denny smiled and sort of tilted his head to the side and said, Jody, you sound like a musical ballad. A few people giggled and my face lit up with embarrassment and excitement at the same time. Do you know why? Well, because we had just gotten done with our first webinar at Maple Ridge Farms this season about teaching how to deliver a multi-sensory food gifting experience. My passion was so noticeable that it literally lit up the room. This is exactly what happens when you display and exude comfort and joy that's associated with this multi-sensory gifting.
Yes, today we're going to talk about basically elevating your virtual strategy to take it to the next level. And the good news is that if you are watching this video right now, you're already ahead of a large subset of your competition. So engaging on social media, being open to new ideas, and really just taking the time for professional development is key when it comes to adapting and moving forward. So, you know, as I mentioned, we've all had to really make adjustments in the last 6 to 7 months, and I'm not gonna pine over it and go into that too much. But really, we do need to address the fact that everybody has had a different adaptation experience because we all started in different places. So, some of us have been using this technology for years and years, and it kind of comes as a no-brainer, but other people have had to start in a different place. And so the exciting part of that is that we are getting closer and closer to closing that virtual literacy gap, because it's definitely a real thing, and it's really making everybody a little bit more connected.
And that is so great. I'm so stoked to see some of these suppliers that have really just provided so many great resources to distributors. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about focusing in on the market, focusing in on maybe an industry or a product segment, and how to use technology to achieve that. So if you don't really understand or don't know what niche marketing is just a strategy that helps you focus or target a market versus marketing to everyone. I think there's a place for both in a distributor's business. I definitely think that there's a place for an all-encompassing website that has everything and all different kinds of options and a really strong message on who you are as a company and who you are as a distributor and all of the different ways that you can service or help a client.
Next up is the behemoth of content and social media. Yes, it is crazy how much content that there is out there, but there is also not enough. And so these next guests talk to us a little bit either about their platform or their company that they work with and what they're doing, or kind of the podcast and how they created it, or the piece of content that they created, and given us tips on how to do it ourselves. So we had Sam Kaber, Jay Bassell, Jason Noakes, Javier Melendez, and Walter all talk to us about social media and content. Check this out.
So for us, luckily, or for me, I should say, I was set up with the right team. So when you start thinking about like content creation, even business, anything at all, like it all goes back to Napoleon Hill philosophies, think and grow rich, right? Create your mastermind or your think tank, create your team, right? And I forget the book, but get the right seats on the bus. You guys know that in terms of employees. So I had the right seats, right? I had the right players involved, and we launched. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Straight up, we didn't know what we were doing. I like to say that it's like that scene in Zoolander where they're at the computers and they're like, it's inside the computer, and they don't really know what they're doing. That was us. We literally went to my laptop and we're like, okay, I guess you just hit record. We're talking straight into the computer, no mic or anything. We don't know what we're doing.
About 2014, 2015, I came across Promo Kitchen through, I don't remember, I think it was a newsletter. And then I saw that they were doing an event at PPAI, and I got to know what they were doing a little bit. And I was super confused in the beginning. I was like, what is this? What is the point? Why are they doing this? Like, where is the catch? What is the hook? Clearly they're trying to sell me something. What is it? And I kept asking questions and I kept reading, and I was listening to a few of the podcasts, and I thought, wow, this is not at all what I thought it was. This is truly an amazing organization that is serving both distributors and suppliers and service providers and apparel peeps and decorators. And they were just trying to provide value, like service, like training and mentorship.
Yeah, our website is promopulse.io. And so you can go to the website, and from there you can view the feed, you can download the app, you can sign up for the email. So anything you want to do. We tried to make it flexible for anybody to however they want to consume their content. But it's definitely, there's no excuse anymore. It actually, sort of designed for me, so I didn't have an excuse, because I don't stay on top of the social like everybody. Some of my friends do. And so this is a nice way that I can use the promo news feed to make sure I know what's going on too. So
that's awesome.
Solve your own problem first.
There's a major reason why brands like NASCAR, San Diego Zoo, MLB, and other brands you wouldn't expect, like the Washington Post, for example, are on that platform, and they see that it's able to generate a lot of traffic with late teens, college age individuals, and the favorite buzzword, as I've been in the industry, millennials, or the next generation. So according to the National Retail Federation, 72% of Gen Z college students say they're more likely to buy from a brand that they follow on social media. And that's why these brands are now involved in TikTok, because it's an emerging social media platform.
So don't add to the noise. Consider your content carefully. Timing is everything. Be genuine, honest, graceful / grateful. Don't be afraid of failure. You're allowed to make mistakes. Try to stay consistent, but don't get down on yourself. It's your show, so you control the way it should or shouldn't be. And don't be afraid to reach out to hard to reach people.
And now get ready and clear some headspace for some forward-thinking mentality here. We talked with Vicki Ostrom about value shifts. So how during this time of lockdown, our values are kind of shifting and how we can schedule our marketing and our sales based on those shifts in the public. Listen to what Vicki had to say.
That there is, they had this whole white paper about this idea of a value shift that consumers are participating in right now. And honestly, a lot of these things have been going on a long time. We've been, thinking about these things and preparing for these new ways that we're thinking about things for a while. And one thing they talked about at the beginning of this value shift white paper is resilience planning. And I just loved that word resilience. I think it's like the word optimistic. We are wanting to be optimistic as people, no matter how bad things get or how much anxiety we have. We really want to be optimistic about the future. And so I love this idea of resilience planning. And so what they're talking about with the value shifts is just understanding these ways that we're reevaluating what our values are as people, what's important to us. That's the basic part of it. What's important to us as humans.
And it's not all about sales and getting out there and grinding and doing a bunch of Zoom meetings. You got to take care of yourself as well. And so we had Lori Bolton come on and give us a little bit of a challenge on some wellness, on some personal wellness. And she gave us this quick little challenge here that was part of a 3-part challenge. So go back and watch the full episode, but here's a quick little clip.
One of my favorite that I am religious about, even when I do travel, is starting your morning with 8 ounces of lukewarm water with some lemon. We wake up dehydrated. Don't even think about it. You could be a great water drinker during the day, but the fact of the matter is, if you wake up in the morning and you go straight to your coffee is dehydrating. I'm not saying not to have it. I have my coffee in the morning, but I always start my morning with some lukewarm water and a lemon, and it gives me that energy that I need to fuel my body, to get me going in the morning. And I can definitely feel a difference throughout the day. And of course, I drink my water in addition to the 8 ounces.
And then 2 industry rock stars. We had a supplier and a distributor come on and tell us that they're ready to get out there and start selling again. We had Taylor Anderson and Nadav Raviv come on and give us some tips on how they are selling during this crazy lockdown climate.
We don't have to sit around and just hang our heads and be defeated. We can look around and say, what can we do to make our environment better so that I can then get more sales, so that I can, support myself, support my family. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all doing, right? When everybody's selling, everybody's making money, everybody's happy. And just because what they say on the news isn't good, we can make our environment positive.
I like to talk to them about their marketing campaigns, their goals. What are they trying to achieve? You're buying a pen, but why are you buying a pen? What pen are you trying to get? What color ink do you want to get? What color pen do you want to get? Who's the target demographic? And what are you trying to say to that target demographic? What ROI are you trying to capture? So when you're doing things like that, it's easy to show them a virtual. And of course, you always want to show a virtual to get the conversation started. But as you start peeling back the layers and the onions, and you really start understanding exactly what their target demographic is and what they're trying to accomplish with whatever campaign or just giveaway, there's always a reason. So kind of seeing is believing. So if you can put something in their hand that's tangible, it really just helps them perceive the product and really might even give them an idea of what they're doing.
And with all of us locked down and working virtually, there are some companies like Promo Corner that has been virtual since they started. And so we're kind of, this is old hat for us to be speaking through a camera. But Lori Moore from Promo Corner got on and gave some tips and some awesome little exercises that she does to keep the team at Promo Corner connected during this virtual time. And she isn't called Chief Fun Officer for no reason. Check this out. I have done more fun things with all of my coworkers than I ever did actually working in an office in the whole time I've worked before then. It is so amazing how you're able to pull our entire little team together virtually, because we're everywhere. We're in Kansas City, Baltimore, Massachusetts, Texas. We're everywhere. And you're able to make us all feel like we're right in the office together. So thank you so much for doing that. This is amazing.
I love doing it. I always say I think that it goes back to my roots of being an elementary school teacher and a mother of 4. So I enjoy it. I hope everybody else enjoys it. Sometimes I think that, you know, people may cringe and be like, oh God, what is she doing now? But it's kind of like the forced family fun, you know, that we're all required to do sometimes.
Thank you so much to Brandon Williams, Brittany Godsey, Jason Noakes, Javier Melendez, Jay Bassell, Jody Schillinger, Catherine Mills, Lori Moore, Lori Bolton, Nadav Raviv, Sam Kaber, Shannon Laredo, Taylor Anderson, Taylor Borst, Tiffany Tarr, Tim Hill, Vicky Ostrom, and Walter Kurt. And again, thank you so much to all the guests for taking time out of their day, taking time out of their schedule, and coming and speaking to us for 20 to 30 minutes live on Thursdays, and just giving us their insights on how they do things so that we can maybe learn from them and add it to our toolbox. And just remember, you can always go to promocorner.com, click on the promo journal tab, click in daily feed, and then in the drop-down menu there, select Express Training Bites, and you can see these full episodes anytime you want. Now, do you know anybody, or would you like to kind of come on and give something that you've learned during this time of lockdown, or something that you have done in the past or are doing in the future to maintain your business or to build your business? And it doesn't have to just be inside the promo industry. If you know somebody who is crushing it out there, let's hear from them. Let's get them in here. Let's educate our industry and our people here at Express Training Bites. You can always reach out to content@promocorner.com if you've got a submission. And if you would like to do it yourself, just let us know. We'll get you scheduled. Thank you so much for watching Express Training Bites. I know that this has been a phenomenal series. I love doing it. It's not without its hiccups, but at the same time, those are teaching everybody around us as well as to what can happen and how to kind of fix it. So thank you so much. I look forward to doing another fantastic 6 months, year, 2 years. I don't know how long this is going to go of Express Training Bites here at Promo Corner. I am Brandon Petrich, the Digital Media Director, and I want you to have a fantastic day.